Good morning, Snipes Academy. It is Tuesday, August 24th. I'm Mr. Yates, and this is Snipes Daily News. All right, everybody, welcome back. I hope you had a great start to the week. Let's go ahead and get into it with some weather. Right now, as of this recording, it is 77 degrees and a little bit wet. Unfortunately, it is probably going to rain all day again today. I hope you enjoyed the sunshine yesterday because you're probably not going to see it again until Thursday. For today's This Day in History, we're going to talk about Pluto. So, on this day in history, August 24th, 2006, the International Astronomical Union, otherwise known as the IAU, decided that Pluto is not a planet anymore. They did this by redefining the definition of a planet and then deciding that Pluto was not a planet. Their definition of a planet was that 1, it orbits the sun, 2, that it has enough mass and gravity that it's round, and 3, that it's cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. Now, when I was a kid, Pluto was a planet, and this sort of upsets me. So I did some research, and I came up with an article from a different scientist, an actual planetarian, not an astrologer, who says, yes, Pluto is a planet, and here's his argument. This scientist's name is Dr. Alan Stern, a planetary scientist. First, the scientists in the IAU arbitrarily redefined what a planet was because there were suddenly a bunch of discoveries of other planets in that system that fit the same description. You know, they were round and they orbited the sun. And so they started to panic that, there was going to be all of these extra planets that we have to be concerned with. There's not just 9 anymore, which itself is absurd. Who cares how many planets there are, as long as we know that there are planets. The other point that Dr. Stern takes issue with is that third rule that says they've cleared the neighborhood of their orbit. This particular argument doesn't make very much sense to him for a couple of reasons. Chiefly, he points out the fact that the solar system is littered with asteroids, and so no planet in the solar system can truly claim that it's cleared its orbit because there's all these there's all these comets and asteroids in their path. But his second point is that all of these scientists, rather than make hypotheses, test them, make an argument, and prove things, the usual process of science, they decided to take a consensus vote. So there's an image of the IAU voting on whether or not these rules should be upheld and if Pluto should be a planet. Which leads me to my quote of the day, which is Dr. Allen himself saying this. "Voting is a terrible mechanism of doing science," he said. "We don't vote on the theory of relativity. We don't vote on quantum mechanics. And the image of the IAU taking a vote was the single most damaging pedagogical event in science in probably a century, because to many people it was easy to reach the conclusion that science is arbitrary or political, which it is not." And he's right. Actual science is not political. Science is a process. It's a process where you have a hypothesis, you test it, and then it's proven or it's not. And it takes hundreds, maybe thousands of times of repeating the work in order for science to get to a point where it's proven. And even then, it changes. More or less proving Dr. Stern's point, the IAU's decision to change the definition of a planet is roundly ignored today, 15 years later, by planetary scientists. And since there are no birthdays today, I will leave it here with you guys, and I will see you here tomorrow. Make sure you guys work very hard and learn as much as you can until then. I'll see you tomorrow. This is Snipes Daily News.